All right, we are live, man. How's everyone doing out there? Hope everyone's doing great, man. NFL Sports Talk, Conference Championship Week, man. Pretty crazy. There's only 2 days of football left, man, in this season. It's gone by so quickly. Hope you guys have enjoyed the playoffs so far. And let's talk some football, man. So I came on here about Week 18, I think the day before Week 18, and I gave my pick for the Super Bowl. I like Buffalo. San Francisco 2-2 battle, man. And we'll talk about that Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs football game. And I'll give my thoughts on it in a little bit. But I wanted to talk about the games coming up this Sunday, man. It's a very interesting set of matchups that we have coming up. And, just in general. Hey, what's up, Mr. Daniel Berry? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing good, brother. Niners, Ravens, Super Bowl, man. That's what it's looking like. I've seen a lot of people pick that, man, actually. I think people are saying that because of the Super Bowl colors and also because, they're the 2 best teams, I guess, right? The 1 seeds. Yeah, man, Buffalo, dude. They completely choked at the end. Very similar game, man. San Francisco and Buffalo, where the 2 quarterbacks had the chance to do that legacy drive, that game-winning touchdown drive, man, and Josh Allen just choked. And I'm pretty sure you've seen the highlights, man. He had open receivers to get first downs, and he made some horrible decisions in that football game. And it hurt, bro, because that was my pick for the Super Bowl, man. But this was Buffalo's only chance, man, to do it, based on the emotion, based that they had a home game against the Chiefs, man. The playoffs, it's unheard of, dude. Patrick Mahomes is first true road playoff game since he's been in the league for 6 years, man. So they had the chance, dude, but they choked. The Chiefs win. And here we are, Mr. Barry, the championship week, man. How do I see these football games going down, man? Let's talk first about... I guess we can talk first about San Francisco and Detroit, man, because I do see a lot of love for Detroit because of the emotion, because of the hype, dude. It's their first playoff win that they got wild card round in like 56, 60 years, something like that. Pretty remarkable, man, that Jared Goff was able to come into that franchise after being banned from the Rams, dude. Basically being the scapegoat, and now all of a sudden, man, he's taking that Detroit Lions franchise, the city, lifted them up, man, and gave the fans huge hope that this could be their year for a Super Bowl run. The Rams have a great offensive team, and I kind of think the coach, Campbell, he kind of limits that, man, because last week, the rookie running back, Gibbs, man, he ran the ball so well. I think he had like 70 yards and like just 9 carries, but Campbell's just likes to have Goff throw that football, man. He likes to put Goff in the pocket, throw that football, and I think Goff threw the ball like 42 times last week. You can get away with that, I guess, when you're playing Tampa Bay, a lower tier team. But I guess against San Francisco, if they play how they're supposed to play, I think Campbell, that style is going to mess them up, man. I think Campbell has to adjust and run the football a lot in this one. But I don't trust it, man. I think he's going to come out with the same game plan, put Goff in the pocket, and throw the ball over the field. I think he threw the ball to St. Brown 14, 15 times in that football game. I expect the similar thing, man. And I think that is what's going to mess them up. I think Shanahan is going to have a great game plan for the Lions based on his experience. And the climate as well, dude. I think the climate, the outdoor venue is a huge favor for San Francisco. They've won in like ugly type of football games, when going back to when they went to Lambeau Field with Garoppolo and they didn't score a single touchdown, but they pulled off the win. And Detroit is used to playing on that turf in the dome, very fast type of football game. In San Francisco, I don't think that's going to be the case, man. I think the field favors the Niners. And obviously, San Francisco's going to have to play a lot better than last week, man. I think they had big-time rust. Both the 1 seeds were very rusty. The Ravens were only up a touchdown going into that 4th quarter. We'll talk about Baltimore. The score is going to say, they beat down the Texans, but it was a 10-10 football game at halftime, And Lamar didn't play that sharp. Like I mentioned, the rust. San Francisco had that rust pretty much all game long. The difference was, I know people talk a lot of shit about the quarterback, and they should because he's very inconsistent. But when the time came down to it, man, the San Francisco quarterback had the ball in his possession to win the football game. And, he made some good throws. McCaffrey scores that game-winning touchdown on the run, and San Francisco wins, man. That's the difference. Just being clutch in those moments, right? This is Purdy's second NFC Championship game. Will he win it or will he choke, man? I'm going to take San Francisco to beat Detroit based on what I'm mentioning about Dan Campbell might be a little bit over his head in this coaching battle if he doesn't adjust to running the ball more with their two running backs, Montgomery and Gibbs. If he wants to keep putting Goff in that pocket, I think it will cost them. And, all right, the injury to Debo is massive, all right? I feel San Francisco can overcome that. They've won 4 out of the last 6 games that Debo hasn't played. So it's not like a team that completely falls apart without Samuels. Yeah, it's a huge weapon. But I kind of think, I trust in Shanahan to overcome that, man. Whether it's giving the ball more to Ayuk in those situations where he gave the ball to Debo. Because Ayuk is playing very well, man. He's taken a huge step up in these playoffs. I think he's ready to get the ball more. And I trust that. I'm going to pick San Francisco, not to just keep saying things over and over. It's going to be a close battle, man. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think San Francisco will win by, 8-9 points at the end. Maybe, Detroit's trying to come back at the very end, and they don't do it. And maybe they're losing by 8, and they need a touchdown and 2 points to tie it, send it into OT, and they just can't get it done, man. That defense comes through. They sack off. They cause a turnover. Game over. San Francisco to the Super Bowl, which was my original pick, man. So I'm going to stick with it. And the second game, I think, is the most interesting one of both the football games. It's actually the first one coming up on Sunday, the first game. I think this is the Chiefs' toughest test in the playoffs because Lamar Jackson is a threat to run the football. He scored 4 touchdowns last week. Obviously, the fourth quarter did get away from the Texans, but the Texans were in the football game, man, for 3 quarters, just down a touchdown going to that fourth. The thing about this Ravens ball club is going to be the defense. I think they will cause a lot of problems for Mahomes, but I trust Andy Reid and the Chiefs offensive staff to make in-game adjustments and use their 2 running backs a lot more. Pacheco and as well Rice. I think if they use those 2 players in clutch situations, give them the ball in open space, I kind of think that's going to give the Ravens a bunch of trouble. But if Reid wants to drop Mahomes in the pocket, it's not going to work out. I think Reid's going to have to adjust in this game. He's going to have to use his experience to win. And I think ultimately when it comes down to the last 2 minutes of the football game, the Chiefs might be losing, man. The Chiefs might be down, but Mahomes might have that possession at the very end to win the football game, and I think he's going to come through. Might be a game-winning field goal. Chiefs win by 1 or 2 points, but I kind of think the Chiefs will get it done based on the experience of this team, man. I think the Chiefs pretty much have this goal of going back-to-back since the year began. Here they are, just 1 game away. I don't think they're going to choke like that. I think they're going to dig deep and pull through. Lamar Jackson, he was a little shaky, like I mentioned a little bit earlier in that first half. Even in the third quarter, he kind of picked it up. In the fourth, he dominated, right? But I don't know, man. I trust Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defensive coordinator, to come up with a good game plan to sort of contain him. You can't stop the guy. You got to contain him, right? And make Lamar Jackson beat himself. I think that's going to be the goal for the Chiefs. A close one, give me Kansas City to win by 1 or 2 points, which comes down to my Super Bowl pick, man, right? Original pick was Buffalo. It was San Francisco. And now I'm going to take the Chiefs, man. I'm going to take Kansas City to upset the Ravens at home. I'm going to take San Francisco to do their thing and win at home. A lot of pressure on San Francisco, obviously, because of the way they played last week. But I think they will come through. And that's pretty much the video, man. I just want to give my thoughts on these two football games, my picks, what I'm seeing, what I'm liking. A huge trend in these playoffs so far have been the home teams. Home teams have won 8 out of 10 games so far. We just didn't get that many upsets this year in the playoffs, man. Just 2 teams got upset this year. Dallas, oh man, the freaking Cowboys. And the other team that got upset, man, was the Buffalo Bills. I guess we can talk about that Bills football game, man, because it was my pick for them to reach the Super Bowl this year. Huge disappointment in that game, man. When the game was going on, I kind of had a feeling that they weren't going to do it just based on the way that Josh Allen was playing out there. I just didn't see that killer instinct that I was expecting him to play with. And I saw it especially on that last-minute drive, man. He didn't look like that Josh Allen from that playoff game from years past where the Chiefs scored